Good morning, Facebook. It's been a long time since I've actually been talking with you. We've been doing reruns for the past, I don't know how many months. We've got over 81 episodes in the can. A couple of announcements before I bring on my guest. If you are a realtor and you're scrolling through this, you might want to stop because I have an extraordinary realtor, broker, luxury specialist, staging specialist, and a certified Tom Ferry consultant. Has clients all over the country, quite a few in Houston. He's from Indiana. But before I bring him in, I just want to give you a notice in terms of changes. We used to do this every week, which is in part because we got so busy and it was difficult to get guests to commit every week. We are changing to twice a month. So what is that? The second and fourth week of the month. We've already got next week's guest, who is an author, and the book is going to be turned into a movie. Amazing story. So you want to tune in on the, let's see, January 28th. Because it's incredible, this story, and I can see why it's going to be made into a movie. But let's talk about today's guest. John L. Reagan is as I mentioned, he's an award-winning stager with a staging company arm of his very successful real estate company, and he is also a certified coach for Tom Ferry, the #1 ranked coaching company in the industry. And John will verify if this is true, something that I pulled on the web, that folks who coach with Tom Ferry consultants earn on average of 10 times the industry average. So if you're looking to level up your real estate business, now is the time you want to tune in, and we will be taking questions. Jeffrey Wong, my husband and tech support, will be fielding questions, and we will answer any questions that come up on this live. And if we see them after the fact, because I know many folks can't make it, but they'll watch it on the replay, we'll answer them. We'll go back and answer those as well. So without further ado, let's add John. John, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Kat, for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. You know, John is an alumni from over a year ago, and I was really excited to bring John back and to launch our 2023 with the new format. And something I didn't mention, and I'll plug it in here because there's a lot of information to get through, and I want all of your information to share with our viewers, is all of these episodes. This is the 81st. I'm stand corrected. The 81st episode will all be within about 48 hours on any podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, what have you. So you can pick whatever topic that you're interested in and watch it while you're on the drive to wherever you're going, as well as being put up on our YouTube channel. So, John, I'm sure I missed some stuff. Just tell us a little bit, intro that you'd like to share with our audience, and then we can kind of dive into the topics as we've kind of condensed it down. John is a plethora of information. We could do a show. We could do a show on 100 topics, but we're going to try to condense it down and keep everything down to less than 30 minutes, talking about the benefits of having a coach in real estate. That coupled with the power of staging, close to my heart. So take it away, John. Share with us what you got there.
Well, like you said, I'm a Tom Ferry coach, which is you have to go through basically a long vetting process and a lot of education and a lot of testing and a lot of knowledge. I have mentored people for years in real estate. So when they approach
they don't take anybody. If there's a vetting process to be accepted.
Right.
Yes, because it is such high level.
Yeah, you do go through a very long procedure, and you don't know if they're going to ask you to be a coach until the very end.
Wow.
So the very last day, you find out if you're a coach.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, it's very intensive. But the nice thing is that it's such an amazing system that anyone can learn from it. The resources is amazing, and I wish I would have known about coaching and staging right from the get-go of my career, because I certainly would have made so much more money. I did go, when I started staging as a realtor, I did go and take, the basic level, the ASPRE. Then I moved up to the ASP, and then I did my master's with Barb.
Yes, you are a fellow master staging credential, which I think, and Jenny, if she's watching this or will watch it, will attest, it's a very small percentage that have their ASPM or accredited staging professional master. I took mine with Jenny. Yeah. You took yours with Barb. I took my ASP with Barb in San Diego. So, with the creators. And shout out to Barb if you're watching this, Barb, because we just had the 9th of this month, Worldwide Staging Day.
Exactly.
Which is 51 years, I believe.
51 years.
51 years. And bless Barbara's heart for creating and getting the word out and educating and training, et cetera. And it just shows you how long it takes for something to be now, like, it's not a question, you need to stage, but let's talk about that a little bit. Are you through with the intro on that? Because I wanted to.
I am now a Tom Ferry coach. I am a full-time realtor. I have a team.
Yes.
So of course they have the benefit of that, and they get the benefit of staging. But my coaching clients at Tom Ferry also get the benefit of my knowledge for staging. And as an example, I had a coaching client that had a house that wasn't selling, and she was frustrated. And as we all know, the price isn't always the issue. I'm a firm believer there are 3 things that sell a house, and it's location, it's price, and presentation.
Absolutely.
I can't.
We have a saying, and that is buyers justify price, and oftentimes a higher price. Stats will prove that through emotion. And how do we create that emotion?
Staging. Yeah. Staging is all about emotion, creating a lifestyle and emotion.
Yep.
So we went through. She sent me the listing. This is not part of my Tom Ferry coaching. This is just something extra I brought to the stage, and I gave her some ideas. I'm like, I would do this, 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 and this. She did them, took new pictures, and sold the house within 2 weeks.
That's why we love the staging, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Because you're making a difference in people's lives in their next step in their new home journey, whether it's, selling or buying, whether it's putting more money in their pocket, helping them get to that new home quicker, relocate to be next to family. I mean, there's so many reasons to buy and sell. And what we do in the staging world, I really feel is so valuable to really lift folks up in that way in their journey.
Well, and here's the thing, as it's a very complex market now. I mean, we went through COVID, which created an amazing real estate market because so many people wanted to move out of really densely populated areas.
Yes.
And so many people could work at home, so they could basically live wherever they wanted, really.
Yes.
So we had a huge influx, but now you see in the news where they're like, oh, the market's crashing and the market is not crashing, folks.
It's balancing.
Yeah. No, it's balancing. We are pre-COVID market.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of agents still out there that do, and clients that do not understand what that means and how to price effectively. So one of the things why I believe in staging and coaching so strongly is because there's so many things out there, and there's so many, I call it the bright and shiny syndrome, where it's like, if I pay for this, I'm going to have instant success. If I pay for this, and that's just not the case.
No. But as you know, our society, myself included, because we're conditioned, we have the attention span sometimes of a gnat.
Yeah.
And so we want fix quick. And the bottom line, I don't care what it is, whether you're fixing your mental issues and your baggage, or you're propelling your business, or whatever it is, you've got to do the work yourself.
And that's one of the things that I find so amazing about coaching is that you are held. There's accountability there.
Accountability.
And that's one of the main reasons that people really are in coaching. It's a really sad statistic that we're going to lose 80% of the agents within 2 years that start. And it's because going to school does not teach you how to be a coach.
No.
Or it doesn't go to school. It doesn't teach you how to be a realtor, and taking classes doesn't always teach you how to be a stager.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's you have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to think. This is a business, folks.
Yeah.
This isn't anyone that gets into staging or into real estate because they have such a wide open schedule. No. And you work as a stager, you will work until you drip.
In Houston, we literally drip when I'm out in my unclimate controlled warehouses.
Yeah, and as a agent, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready. I'm on my computer at 5:30. As a coach, I'm coaching people by 7:30. And after my coaching day, my day doesn't end. I have clients the same things that I tell my clients, you need to call 5 people every day.
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with stagers out there. Guys, if you don't stay in front of your clients, then you're not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
And there are no harsher words that you will ever hear than, oh, I didn't know you were still staging. I didn't know you're still selling real estate.
We used to have a saying for that back in, I'm going to date myself, Yellow Page days when I knocked on doors business to business to sell Yellow Pages. And someone would say, I don't really have a budget to have my name even listed. And back then, that's how you advertise, period.
Right.
And we had a saying, well, if you don't tell people what you do, you're kind of like the person that winks in the dark. They know they winked, but guess what? Nobody else does.
We call them secret agents.
I love that. Secret agents. Yes.
I said that to a client the other day.
I like that term.
They're like, oh, so I'm a secret agent. And I said, yes. And I just looked at them. They're like, that's not a good thing, is it? And I said, no.
And I'm going to touch on a couple of things because I know you and I could take this like for 2 hours.
Yes, we could.
But a couple of things that come to my mind is, number one, with the whole COVID conundrum, I'm calling it, many people were jumping, getting their license so they can take advantage of, the market.
Right.
And I think beyond those statistics that we've had many years, that 80%, it's the 80-20 rule, 20% are going to make 80% of the money, and 80% will fall out, and 80% are less than 2 years vetted. So, when you interview, if it's a new client, those are the things that you bring to the table, the experience, the years, the knowledge, all of those things, because let's face it, real estate is not for the faint of heart. There are many balls to juggle, many pieces of the puzzle to put together, and you don't learn that, and, certainly don't learn it taking your license and getting your license. So for the people who are in it, let's say, I want to get kind of on the coaching. Like, I'm going to ask you if you can maybe share with the audience 3 things without giving the sausage recipe away, but 3 things that you see the most that folks are fearful or hesitant. I know calling's got to be one.
Calling is number 1.
Okay, see, I knew it.
Number 1.
That's why I used to do so well in telemarketing contests, because I love to talk and I can get them over the phone to sign a contract.
Well, and here's the thing that people don't understand. There are 4 basic personality types.
Yes.
And with a DISC profile. I recommend that everyone take the DISC profile test and know what you are. Now, Kat, obviously you and I are both high D's and high I's. So that means we can
walk interestingly enough, and I, from my telecommunications background that I worked a decade, I've lived many lives and I'm 100. DISC was paramount. And oddly enough, back then, who knows, I could be different now, because I was dealing with a lot of intellectuals and tech people and CEOs and so forth. But I was a DC.
You were
So
what?
I was a DC.
Seriously, I would not have gotten that.
Almost even a DC.
You
So,
have to retake that test because you have to be a high I.
well, see, the I I've had to develop because I used to be extremely shy and introverted and more on the C side, and then
Yeah.
would take over. But yeah, it was interesting because I remember my higher up GMs, said he was a DC also. That's just probably part of the the ADD, not the ADD, I don't know, but that's the detail, the detail oriented. But I have anyone who has come to work on my team through the years,
Absolutely.
I always have them take a disc, not to categorize them, but to know
how to communicate with them.
How to communicate with
Yes.
them and see, okay, they would be better maybe in this position.
Exactly.
I don't need another DC because, we're going to bump heads,
Right.
For the most part.
So folks, real quick, what that means is D's are drivers.
Let's talk to the audience. Drivers.
We're influencers.
Yes.
We're all about people. We're all about relationships. The C's, they're amiables. They're very agreeable. They don't like stress. And then we have.
I need to reread it then because I was under the impression that C was conscientious, i.e., detail.
I'm sorry. S is amiable. C is the analyticals.
Analytical. I is the influencer or the affiliator. They call it in another platform. They're the friendly. Hi.
We're all about people.
All about people. Yeah.
So, and it's wonderful that here's the thing. Agents need to learn how to talk to different kinds of clients because clients come in every flavor, right? So when I'm talking with a D client, what that means is they want the facts, they want the task, let's get it done, right? When I'm talking with a high I, they love to chat, and you have to keep them on task.
You have to keep on task. They're going to talk about their family, down the desk, all that. And you learn that. I learned that back in the 80s to look because I might have to talk to a corporate attorney in the morning.
Yep.
And I'm going to have my blazer on. I'm going to have my fake glasses on. Back then, these are real now, so they wouldn't look anywhere else. But then after lunch, maybe I'm talking to a mechanic. I'm going to take my jacket off, pull up my sleeves. So I'm sure you probably go into that body language and how to assess the type of person you're talking to. And just so folks know out there, because I'm not really big on putting people in categories, but this is, Tony Robbins is, in fact, you can get a free one if you Google Tony Robbins DISC, DISC.
Everyone should know it.
Yeah, everyone should know it. And you, like you said, I should probably take it again. It's been a few minutes since I've taken it. Because that changes as you change and as you develop different skills.
So the thing is what agents don't get, and I hear this all the time. I don't want to be salesy. Then don't be.
No.
Then call your clients and chat.
Yes.
See how they're doing. Yes. Look, we in Tom Ferry world, we use something called FORD, which stands for you can talk to them about friends and family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Okay. So it's just to connect and keep your name in front of people. People do not, and that's the most crazy thing to me, because when you have a sphere built into your CRM, which I can't believe how many agents do not have CRMs, and that stands for Client Resource Management.
Right.
That's where you keep all your notes, all your clients. Everyone in there that you have a relationship with is worth about $1,000 of commission for a realtor. So if you have 350,000 or 350 great people that you're relating to, and we call it loving on our sphere in Tom Ferry.
Loving on our sphere. I love that.
So when you're loving on your sphere, that's worth about $350,000 of commission.
Wow.
And here's a statistic that's going to frighten you, and I would love to know what this is for staging. 95% of people say that they will reuse the agent that they just used for their purchase or sale.
Yes,
right?
Guess how many stay in contact with them and get that opportunity?
12%.
Yep.
12%.
I was alarmed by that statistic.
Is that shocking?
It is shocking.
Folks, make your calls. Stagers, check in. You never know. Pick up the phone. 60% of your revenue is right here, kids. 60%. There's no magic bullet. It's called.
If you can get them to answer the phone, right? But there's one thing. Two things, and I'm sure you can tell me through your the Tom Ferry, but it's kind of back to the basics of sales without being sales. And that's it's my mantra in my show is one of them is stay connected. So sending notes, sending a person, just a thank you. Hey, it was great talking to you, or what have you. And
you mean like one of these?
Yes, one of those. Yes. But what is your thoughts on, with today's technology, and I guess it depends on the sociographic, are you with Gen Xers or whatever our age is or my age is, no one's picking up the phone anymore.
Well, but there's workarounds for that though.
Is there?
We have wonderful technology now. You can do a video text.
That's right.
Okay. You can do an email and you can hyperlink a video in your email to a thumbnail. Get that. There's a lot of ways to get people.
That's right. I keep forgetting about that, John, because I subscribed to some service for a while and I got tired of paying the $49 a month, but we don't need to anymore. We can do it right on our phone.
Do it right on your phone.
And then send it to your email if you don't want to do text and do it that way. So yes. But here's one devil's advocate I want to play on that. And this is one of the reasons that we're going to twice a month instead of every week, because, when I first started this Cats Home Chat, I thought, oh gosh, people are going to be lined up, and part of it is I didn't take the time to do as much work, but at times I'm working hard and I can't get people to commit. And what I found out is it wasn't a schedule thing, because we can re-record and just push it out like live.
Right.
Because people are afraid of the camera. I'm like, I need to do a whole course on that.
And you know what, God, and this is what I say to my clients. It's about you being authentic. We're not all going to look like this gorgeous lady on camera. We're not. Okay. I'm a 5'3" hobbit. Do I go on camera and talk to my clients? Yes.
Because you're authentic. And I mean, you're not going to get me authentically out of the bed, but I try to be as real as possible, but folks want, they want authentic. They don't want Instagram filter, polished, this and that. That's not what they're looking for. They want real.
They want to know that you're not, fluff and polish. They want substance. They want to know the real. Like, now I raise quail, which has nothing to do with anything except I did an Instagram. I love their eggs. They're really nutritious. So I did a little Instagram reel on my quail hatching, and then I did one where I was snipping out the top of quail eggs to make scrambled quail eggs for company over the holidays. I got a gazillion hits on that thing. People just they want real.
Yes.
And in real estate, that's one of the hardest things is I think especially for the millennials, I have to remind them, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. I have two millennials on my team, and she's like, oh, I'm going to text them about this. I said, no, this you have to talk to. You have to pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. Yeah.
And like any more for my coaching clients, do not go on social media and heart and like and emoji yourself all day. Don't do that. Okay. 20 minutes. This is what you do. You comment. If you post something and they comment on it, you comment back. Okay. It's about relationship.
Interaction. Okay. So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is, as opposed to just doing those little emojis like heart and this and that, even if you say, oh, excellent, thanks for sharing, love it, whatever, interact with them. Number one, it's more personable, but guess what? Number two, it gets you those algorithms as
Yes,
interactions. Okay.
you
If you're looking at that, I think, the bottom line is, we don't need 5 million followers, 5 million likes, this and that. We need to connect with a select few people who are like-minded, who know us, like us, and trust us. And they're going to get to know us by us, as you say, being out there and being authentic. Number one. Number two, sharing. Sharing valuable information, giving away your juju tidbits here and there. As you slowly become, you're the expert, because you have all this experience and all of this knowledge on your topic. You're a subject matter expert, I guess they call it a SME.
Well, and the thing is, understand that you get that expertise by number one, really working at it, taking classes, reading books, practicing what you preach. Like there's nothing that I teach to my coaching clients that I don't do in my own business. Nothing.
Absolutely.
Do I pick up the phone? Heck yes, I pick up the phone.
Absolutely.
Do I love on my sphere? Heck yes, I do. Do I have a routine on exactly how to do that and when I'm going to do that and build and SOPs? And for those of you who don't know what an SOP is, it's a standard operating procedure.
Yep.
Every client, this happens.
So you have a system. So, Jeff, keep me honest on the time because I don't have a cell phone in front of me. But if we go over a little, that's okay. People can just speed past it or scroll past it or whatever. But I don't have a watch in front of me. But so do you go through in your coaching, John, helping them set up their own personalized standard operating procedures?
Yes, absolutely. There are certain foundations of your business that every realtor should have. You should have a website. You should have a CRM with all your client and your sphere and all your notes and every conversation in there. You should have standard operating procedures for your buyers, for your sellers, for your office staff, for your assistants, for yourself.
Now, John, on the CRM, is there one particular that you recommend?
You know what? I don't ever recommend one. I always recommend several because it really depends on what you're looking for and what price point you want to be in and so forth. Gotcha. So we have a wide range. Tom Ferry World does have some CRMs that they recommend and work well with. And of course, they're some of the best because they're very vetted. But the thing is, it's like, and this is something I never could get that home stagers didn't get. You should have a CRM with all your clients in it, guys. You should have a CRM with all your realtors in it, guys, because you need to love on your realtors and because they're your clients.
Yep.
Okay.
Your homeowner, more and more homeowners are calling us instead of the realtors or right before the realtors, your realtors, your partners, your vendors, your trades, all of those people. If anybody's out there, I'm just going to put a plug, who is a guru on MailChimp, because that happens to be my CRM, is MailChimp. And Jeff, bless his heart, he'll do like a, every other week or whatever blast on certain things, but it's so robust. It reminds me of 30 years ago, like resource rich and information poor. I'm looking on there and there's so much more it could do. If anyone out there knows MailChimp, call me because I'm looking for a guru that can help me on MailChimp.
Well, the thing is, people want to hear from you. Like, I tell my clients, do not go on and send them a Facebook happy birthday or a LinkedIn happy birthday. Don't do that. I want you to send your clients a birthday card. Okay? Because we are inundated with emails all day long. Right?
But how exciting is it when you get
exactly.
I'll tell you a story about it. This is a new hairdresser. It was a realtor partner who referred me to her locally here. And I went to her. For whatever reasons, I'm not using her anymore. It's just my hair changed and she wasn't the best fit. But I went to her several times. I even referred people. After the first visit, what is that? There's a card company. that's real big, like automated cards, and it looks like you hand wrote it.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but it's
handwritten.
It's pretty big, yeah, because it looks like it's handwritten. I got not only one of those with a personal note, but I got the best brownie, because you can pick little gifts too. The best brownie packaged with it, and I'm like, who does that?
Exactly.
A hairdresser. You know, exactly. I applaud her. If you're watching this, I applaud her for, you know, going that extra mile, and that personal touch and everything was just really unexpected and memorable. It was memorable.
But if you want to grow your business, and this is what in the Tom Ferry ecosystem, we have 8 levels, and you work through the levels, and each level you master those tools
before you go to the next one. I like that.
Well, some of us end up in many different levels at the same time, but we always have something that we're weakest on, and that's what we double down on.
So let me ask you: is role playing part of that? Because
we role play all the time.
I was going to say, you know,
must.
Yeah.
Every home stager and every realtor should role play.
Yes, and I don't think home stage. In fact, I think I'm going to do a course for IHOSP on that, on role playing, because it's so critical. And when I used to teach CE classes, I haven't done many the last year, but I think I had like 45 agents in a model home at one time, and I had the benefit of going around asking, what would you like to take away today? And guess what kept going on and over and over, and that was, how do I get my sellers on board for staging? Mm-hmm. And if the realtors have that, I know the stagers have that too. They don't know how to articulate in a role play situation, whether it's an occupied consultation or whether to just get the business and sell your service without selling, over the phone. And I think role playing is the key. So you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's, here's the thing. People, it is for you to feel comfortable, but it's also for you to understand how to pivot and objection handle.
And that's a whole nother part of it. In fact, we do one whole section on just how to handle objections. Yeah.
And I look at the word no as nothing more than an unanswered question.
Yep. Tell me more.
Well, so many people will say, well, no, I don't want to do this. But really what they're asking is,
tell me more. Tell me more.
And what is the point of this, and how is this going to help me? Yep. That's what they're really saying.
They're saying, and here's where I can tell you where I think training is so sorely needed in the whole real estate and staging industry, because I always ask classes, who knows what WIFM is? And I've never had anyone answer what it was. And maybe there's another name for it now. They call it, their sore spots or this and that. It's what's in it for me. That's always going to be the question in whatever service you're trying to sell, whether it's coaching, staging, real estate, is how is that going to benefit me? Because, we're all pretty selfish creatures. We're there to fulfill our needs. How are you going to fill my needs, John, in whatever it is? And don't you think that's kind of a key question most people are asking themselves?
Well, and that's the thing, is that people don't ask questions you have to ask questions, and then you have
the right question.
Exactly.
And that's what I was mentoring a stager who's pretty new at staging. And I said, your business can be only as good as the proper questions that you ask. And remember that asking questions, number one, it takes you out of that, well, let me tell you all about what I do. We do this, we do that, we're wonderful, and blah, 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 blah. And you're what I call product vomiting on them. Instead, you need to just sit back and ask them, well, tell me about this. Well, what do you think about that? Have you ever used a coach or a staging before? Well, how was your experience? These are all things that are going in your Rolodex and powering you up to how to help them. Well, I understand in your last experience that you had this going on. What if I could with that, do you find that would be a benefit to you? So, it's all about finding what they're all about. And as you said, asking the right questions. And in the beginning, that might not just roll off your tongue. So create a list of the most common questions that people wanting that service are going to ask.
The fun thing is that in our ecosystem, I follow a gentleman. His name is Phil M. Jones, and he's written some books, and one of the books is exactly what to say for real estate agents.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, and it's all in your approach. How would you feel if your house didn't sell in 6 months?
Yeah.
Do you have plans for if I brought you an offer tomorrow? Do you have plans on where to go? How on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you say your motivation level is to sell your home?
These are brilliant. If realtors just asked those questions, what does that do for ammunition? Well, then they get an offer and they're going to poo-poo it and stay for whatever, a higher offer or this and that. And then what do you pull out? Well, you told me, you shared with me that you need to be in your new home by the time your little, rug rat goes to kindergarten.
Yeah.
And, are you willing to hold off for whatever, a different price or a different negotiation or whatever? So you've just given, yourself then to, it's ammunition. You are now arming yourself with tools to help them.
Well, and here's the thing. You always come back and reiterate it. So what I'm hearing you say is that you need to do this, but we need to get you this much money because of this. And then you can come back and say, well, when we spoke, this is what you really wanted to do. So this is an opportunity. Does it make sense for us to get rid of this opportunity? And when there might not be another opportunity like this coming for 3-4 months.
Right.
Wouldn't it make more sense for us to really engage with this and see where we can take it?
Yep.
Right? But see, when you put it like that, wouldn't it make sense for us? Then that puts that makes the client think.
Yes.
And unfortunately, selling your home and buying a home can get very emotional. And if you just really break it down to the very basics and listen to what they say, commiserate, and then bring them back into the the sphere of reality. And we all know you're a realtor also, so many, many times the first offer you get is the very best offer you get. And I always tell my clients, it's an open door. An offer's an open door, guys. Don't poo-poo that door.
Right.
And that's the thing with many coaching clients is they don't know what tools to use. They don't know how to use them. They do not time block.
Time block.
Time block is critical.
That's huge, isn't it?
Put it in your schedule and commit, guys.
If it's not in your calendar, it ain't happening.
That's right.
When I used to work for New Homes, we had a gal, Naomi, if you're watching, Naomi, absolutely phenomenal in what she did in new home sales, et cetera. And we'd have these little exercises in our training, at some of the best training in sales at this new home company. And she made this little door knocker thing with a fake dollar tied around it and said, money making time. And so that was her time. So she was teaching the class time blocking. From this time to that time, you're going to be on the phone.
It's called working on your business versus working in your business.
Yes.
And if you don't work on your business, you won't be working in your
business.
Because you won't have any.
So I read something the other day. I just shared this with Jeff. I thought, oh, that's a good one. There's different ways of saying it, but this was very poignant, and that is, your dreams won't work if you don't work.
Exactly. Well, and I think this is the other big thing besides not having the correct foundation set, not having SOPs, is not knowing how to time block. but it's also not knowing your business. I can't tell you how many coaching clients I see that have never done a business plan. Guys, you have to create your goals. If you don't have something to shoot for, then what's the point? You don't know. If you start slipping, well, you have no way of knowing that you're slipping off your goals. You have no way of knowing that, hey, I need
You got to know where you're at to know where you want to go.
And you got to have a budget. Guys, you need to know this is a business. You should look at a P&L every month. Where am I spending my money and what is my return? This is a business. I ask people all the time that are part-time and they're like, well, I'm not really getting a lot of business. And I said, so let me ask you this. What'd you do this day? What'd you do this day? What'd you do this day? So then it comes out, they've had maybe 10 hours of actual work during the week. And I said, well, let's do this. If you can't make it in real estate, you're going to have to get a full-time job, right? Well, yeah. And I said, well, how about taking those 40 hours a week and putting it in real estate? And let's see where we go from there.
So a lot of people get into real estate thinking, all the things, all the benefits. Yes, you do have a somewhat flexible schedule. Although I know when I first got my real estate license 22 years ago back in California, I'm hungry for business and I get a call and I leave my dinner and go. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone do that today. You have to have a respect for your personal life.
You have to have balance. You have
boundaries. You have to have balance and you have to have boundaries. But you do need to, like you said, you can't expect to have full-time money when you're working at part-time.
Exactly. And, I unfortunately, I had someone say that to me the other day and I'm like, well, what do you think would happen to your business if you took and you actually put 40 hours of work in your business? I'm not asking you to do 60 hours. Right. I'm just asking you, let's start at this time and let's work this to this time as a job. What do you think your business would do? I guarantee it, if you follow the process, you follow the steps, and you show up and work, you will make money.
Right. And you can still have that flexibility because when you're working on your business, you can be doing marketing, spreadsheets, budget, whatever, up to off hours and still have time. Let's say you have kids, to spend time with your kids or do whatever personal life. You can still, but you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get those hours in. But you certainly have that flexibility. That's kind of the beauty of real estate. And then, of course, as you have a team, then you can delegate. How many do you?
And that's actually one of our steps in coaching is when you get to the point of delegation. Yes. And that's one of the hardest things for successful.
I think it's hard for any business. I want to tell you, it was difficult for me. It took me about 4 years before I would not be on every stage, every D stage, every pool, where I could give that up and not have, anxiety attacks,
But
so I think I get that.
And for me, when because I'm staging, a coaching client. When I started, I thought, I was making a lot of money because I'm really out there, but I had no money left. Well, I made a lot. Where's all my money? So when I did a business plan and started seeing what I was spending my money on that had absolutely no return in investment, I was like, oh, wow, that doesn't make sense.
That's what I need to do this year.
Yeah.
Because, being a creative in the right brain, it's just like, the money keeps coming in. I don't care, if I need to buy something, I'm going to, that's the furthest from my desires is to do that. But I am committed I started doing it the first 6 months of last year and then got so busy. So now I've got to spend probably several days to rectify the books and then I'll have a really good snapshot of how profitable was I last year,
Well, and the thing is, that's part of our coaching. Accountability, understanding that this is a business, pointing you into the tools that make you money. Those are all important. It's a shame to me that everyone doesn't have coaching from day one, because we would have a lot more successful agents in the market.
Yes, because unfortunately, and I started when I left the builder world. I went to Keller Williams first because they had good training, and I'd been out of real estate for so long. I was in new homes for almost a decade, and thought, oh, I was their in-house stager for a down market. I'll this will be a value added, and of course, you've heard probably before, staging took off, and now I just keep my license to help a few friends and family and stay connected to realtors is my main thing. Plus, I have super access, so I make it easy for the realtors for access for staging. They don't have to be there, that kind of thing. But it's just. I forgot what I was going to say on that. Hey, Caesar, nice to see you, alumni Caesar. But yeah, it can be real daunting to do it all, and I think that's why I said, I can't. Real estate has so many parts and pieces to it. Even the couple transactions I do a year, I have an assistant to do a transaction coordinator, because I'm not going to kid myself that I'm going to make sure I dot every I and cross every T. I want to bring the best to whatever few clients that I have, but I'm going to have a transaction coordinator do that.
Well, and that gets to the point where you're not making money while you're sitting in front of a computer. You're making money when you're on the phone. You're making money when you're taking someone out to coffee. You're making money when you're loving on your sphere. You're making money when you're dropping by a gift on somebody's purchase anniversary.
Yes.
Those are the things that will make you money.
Yeah.
I do branded wine. I took one bottle of wine out and I sold 3 houses from that one bottle of wine.
No kidding.
Wow. And I showed them 2 houses.
That's amazing. And guys, if you're new realtors out there, maybe you don't have the funds yet or want to budget the funds yet for a personal wine label, which is amazing. But you can do simple, inexpensive. You go to the dollar store and do a little card, and it's going to be remembered. Go to the office, meet new agents, find out when they have their meetings. Right after their meeting, go there and do a meet and greet. If you connect with, maybe there's 20 agents there, but you connect really solidly with 3. Boom,
And guys, that's your sphere. Love on your sphere.
Love on your sphere. I love that. I'm going to actually write that.
Love on your sphere.
I need to write that in here. Love on your sphere. So share with us. So besides there's time blocking is a huge thing. Knowing your business goals, or without knowing where you were going. So goals are critical. And, I always found it personally for me is to look at for the day, once you've set your goals, to look at your tasks for the day, and to really, when it's quiet, before anybody's up, to really embrace that. Maybe you have to massage it a little, add something, take something away, move something to the next day or whatever. But when I do that, I just feel more like, okay, I can tackle and be successful this day.
Right. Well, and you have to document it. It's like you got to have your foundation of your business, which is your CRM. You have to have your procedures. You have to grow your sphere, and it is ongoing. That is always ongoing. You're always adding and taking away from your sphere, but you want to have a growth mindset. You have to know the tools that work. In today's society, you have to really get on the social media bandwagon, and that's hard for people.
So that can be a black hole. Let me tell you my experience. I'm on most everything, but my son, who very quickly, was the director of marketing for a multi-million-dollar international spring company, not real sexy, but very profitable. He is now the president. So I listened to him. President, my baby boy son, if you're watching this. So they came out from Idaho to visit, and he says, Mom, you need to get on TikTok. I'm like, son, that's for, young people, He's like, no. Who do you think is putting in these springs in these $200,000 camper vehicles, this and that? Because it's not 25-year-olds. So, he said, they went from 400 followers to 22,000 or something, which is, again, I'm not impressed on followers. I'm more impressed on, is that going to, yes, it will get you visibility. Does it get you business? Does it grow your business where you want to grow your business? So I took a challenge. I posted every day for 30 days. I grew from 40 to 200, respectively. But the biggest thing I liked was the discipline. I'm like, oh God, I gotta do my TikTok. It's short, 10 seconds, or you can do a what do you call it? A duet. Use somebody else's video, comment on it. But what I like about it, John, is I can then take that and download it, and boom, share it on Pinterest.
Here,
Yes.
and here.
Yes, all those places. My
Yes.
Pinterest went from 600 views a month to 2,000 views per month. So somebody's seeing it, you know?
And the thing is, like I tell my clients with social media, I don't want you spending hours every day doing social media. I want you to do a day, put maybe 4 hours that once a week, and it can be on the weekend, and whip out 3,
Yes.
4, 5 videos.
Yes.
Change your clothes a few times,
Yep.
and then you put them in a scheduler.
Yes.
I said, and then let it post.
Right.
But you have to use your time effectively. But
Yes.
we always do. Like I have my team coming over this afternoon, and we're doing batch videos. So we're going to be video.
Nice.
And then you have to be relevant. And people are like, oh, well, I don't look good. It's like, nobody cares.
It doesn't matter. And besides, you can put a filter on it and this and that. But I like that if you're listening to this. So instead of the daunting, and you can even do that in TikTok. You can save it in drafts and then post it later.
Yeah.
So, this is what all the social media gurus suggest, just as you do, John, is to do, take one day or one evening or one 4-hour block a day. Once a month, do that.
Yes.
Get them all out of the way. Like you said, change your hat, change your coat, change your clothes or whatever on top, or if you need to do on bottom. And bam, you're done. You got it in the can for the month.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And then, there's even, if it's something where you're not techie, and a lot of realtors aren't, I'm like, there's VAs out there that are $8 an hour they can take your videos, your raw videos, edit them, put in your captions, add your special effects, and then back to you, put them in your scheduler.
Okay, so we're going to have to talk about that, because that's what my son said, test it for a month, but then, hire a kid or hire someone. And of course, I'm back to that control. Well, no one knows how I want it to look. No one knows, this and that. But yeah, I like that there are virtual assistants out there that can do that. What would they be called? Media virtual assistants or something?
They're just virtual assistants specializing in social media.
Specializing in social media. Okay. Yeah. If anybody's out there, give me a call. I'm looking for that.
So there's a lot of different resources out there for you. I always coach my clients. I want you to know how to do the process start to finish, but do I want you to do this every time? No. Do you have to make the video content? Yes, you do.
Yes.
But do you have to do all the finishing and the editing and the polishing? Absolutely, you do not.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So right now, like I've contracted with a local television station, and I'm creating 10 segments. I've got, or 12 segments. I've got 8 more. So I'm just sitting down, in a Word document and coming up with topics.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where the content, there's so many. Gosh, you would never run out of topics in real estate or staging or whatever, life.
Well, listen, Kat, I hate to say this, but I do have a coaching client coming up.
No, I know we've gone past the time. I can't see the time. You have been amazing, John. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom and your knowledge and your creative genius. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart.
I'm in love with you. So.
Are you going to conference, by the way, New Orleans?
No, I can't. I have a Tom Ferry conference.
Oh, well,
I love New Orleans. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite places in the world.
All right, well, we'll do some Facebook Lives and keep you posted and all that.
All right.
But if someone wanted to get a hold of you, whether it's for real estate in Indiana or for staging, just separate because you've got a team that does that, or your Tom Ferry coaching, because I know we have lots of realtors here in the Houston area and many that I'm friends with on Facebook, how would they reach you immediately before we post this on
Well,
YouTube?
if they're interested in coaching, they can email me at jreagan, Reagan, at yourcoach.com. Or if they'd like to call me, my direct line is 219-808-5161.
5161. Repeat that.
219-808-5161.
Let me just put this in here. Also 219-808-5161. This will also be posted on our YouTube channel and, of course, a podcast as well.
Wonderful.
Contact John if you have any questions. He's very giving and sharing. If you just need direction or something, or would like to set up a preliminary coaching call, I know he has those available too. Thanks again, John.
Thank you, Kat.
Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Happy 2023. And I hope to see you soon.
Let's make it a great one.
Yes, make it a great one. Oh, my sign off. I almost forgot. So as usual, stay positive. If you're not positive, get positive. Stay hopeful and stay connected. And thank you so much for connecting with John and myself today. And we will see you the last Friday of the month with my author, Tony Sherman, author soon to be, screenplay, making it into a movie. Until then, we'll see you then. Take care, John.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a great coaching call.
All right. Thanks.